The best kept secret is no longer a secret. And that's why you're seeing all this newness in San Antonio. New companies, new buildings, new jobs. People now know what we've been knowing for a long time down here. You can live not too shabby in San Antonio. It's absolutely affordable, a great economy. Statistically, we rank higher than 90% of the country for cost of living. On more than one occasion, I've heard people from other places, especially from the Northeast and West Coast, make remarks about the relief they feel from the cost of living in San Antonio compared to before. Again, people are pouring into the city, and I just love the newness that's happening. Now, it goes without saying that you have to find somewhere to live. You know, I'm a realtor, and we'll cover all that. We'll get to that. But let's get to the more important stuff, the everyday stuff, like the utilities and the essentials. How much does it cost to run my house? And let's say you're like my house. Everybody's on the internet with some kind of device. Most of the time, the thermostat is at 70 degrees or lower, which is freezing to me. You see, I'm in a hoodie. I stay in a hoodie all the time. Half the time, you have to tell somebody to turn off the light, turn off some, unplug something, because you try to be energy conscious, but not really. A computer or a gaming system always plugged in. To me, that's what normal consumption looks like. I mean, there's so many variables that can happen, but you can very well see $300 bill months here. But on average, this is statistically, on average, one can expect to pay around $170 for the energy bill or the light bill, as we call it down here in South Texas. You can expect to pay $50 to $70 for the water bill. Again, these are averages. And $70 to $100 or more for your high speed internet. So, just for average purposes, $300 to $500 to run your house. Now, your grocery bill, that's a personal thing. That is one of those expenses that I think you can get pretty flexible and creative with depending on your needs and your habits. San Antonio does sit at 91% for the national average of food costs. So we're very affordable compared to most places when it comes to going to the grocery store. I find the best deals for me and my family by going to HEB. You know I love HEB. We can do a whole other video on HEB. And even though I won't personally discuss my grocery bill, I have three gorgeous gourmandizers. That's an SAT word for you. They have healthy appetites. Now, another important cost of living is doing just that, living. I mean, let's be honest. When most people talk about being out and about in San Antonio, it's going to revolve around food and entertainment. Why else would you move to a city with so much rich culture? So for a family of five, my family of five, remember, we like to eat and enjoy ourselves when we go out. We almost always spend $70 to $100 anytime we go out on food and drinks. Again, these are averages. The normal plate in the city at most restaurants is around $12. The average drink in bars around San Antonio is in the range from $6 to $10. Mix that with the countless free and cost-effective activities in San Antonio, and the average family can afford reasonably to enjoy a weekend or two a month enjoying the fruits of your labor. Now, you also have your medical expenses. That's intensely personal, along with your vehicles and the expenses associated with that. It is important to note that San Antonio is almost always cheaper than the national average for gas. So, now that we got that out the way, let's talk about the obvious. Housing. How much does shelter cost, Ant? So, here is my expert overview of San Antonio in general. You have a housing stock of older, traditional neighborhoods, the closer to downtown, which if you were to say inside 410, inside the loop, a true San Antonian will understand what that means. That's the core of the city as it was for so long. And then you can see that the city expanded outward. It's generally understood that outside 410, inside 1604, It's going to be mid-century to modern houses from the 50s to the 70s. You have the newer master plan communities closer to and outside of 1604. That's more or less the gist of it. But of course, there are older neighborhoods outside of 1604. There are newer communities inside 410, and just an eclectic mix of housing stock and neighborhoods in this 300-year-old city. But all in all, just to keep it round in averages, San Antonio, the average cost of a home is $250,000. That'll, on average, get you a 3 to 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, around 2,000 square foot house. So, with 250 being the median, one may be surprised at the affordability in the housing stock you'll find at both sides of that median. For example, you can find some newer builds in the high 100s, lower 200s, or even lower that can suit you. And then the luxury market in San Antonio is generally agreed to be around 500,000. So if you're coming from a place where a small 3-bedroom is 450,000, you'll be blown away by what you can find for that price here. Trust me, I'll show you. Even if you're coming here and renting, which is perfectly fine, you'll find a large supply of apartments. I mean, I drive around all the time, and new apartments are popping up everywhere. I don't have any numbers, but there are no shortage of apartments in San Antonio. Just drive down Broadway where you see a bunch of new apartment growth, Calabria on the northwest side, and the average rent for a 3-bedroom rental is $1,500 for a 3-bedroom, $1,700 for a 4-bedroom. Again, these are averages. You also have single-family rentals and townhomes, and those same numbers will apply. Per usual, you can find deals that suit you with some diligence or with the help of a professional. Now, with buying, you do have added financial burdens such as taxes. There are no state taxes in Texas. However, Uncle Sam is going to get you somehow. So our property taxes are higher here than the national average. So it's all relative. Again, to keep things simple and round, in Bexar County, which is where San Antonio is, you can expect to pay between 2 and 3% of the value of your house for taxes. So if you're in a home that is in that area of that 250,000 average we discussed, then you're looking at $5,000 to $7,500 a year, or let's say $450 to $625 a month. So in your, for example, $1,700 monthly mortgage payment, again averages, roughly a third of that is just for property taxes. Now that's a very broad overview. There are nuances to everything, and I, as your expert on all things San Antonio, can help you if you want to dive deeper on exactly what it is you need and want from the wonderful city of San Antonio.